Spider-Man Brand New Day started filming, so let's talk about the costume, the set photos and everything else we've seen so far. And naturally, spoiler alert for Spider-Man Brand New Day. First up, let's talk about the suit, because the suit is the most comic book accurate thing we have seen so far from MCU Spider-Man, and I absolutely love it. This literally looks like it's been taken straight from the comic book pages and put onto screen, which is something I absolutely love, and I am loving this era of comic book accurate costumes within the MCU, and Spider-Man is no different. What I'm also loving about this as well is that you can actually see the inspiration from Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man suits as well within Tom Holland's suit, which I really enjoy. You can really see that Tom Holland's Spider-Man really looked up to the previous two Spider-Men in real life and also in the movie, so I really like that he's taken this inspiration from them. And when you combine these elements, it makes a beautiful suit, and I cannot wait to see it in action on the big screen. But another specific thing I wanted to talk about within this suit is the web shooters, because these web shooters are looking really homemade and really something that Peter has made himself with very few resources, which is something I'm also absolutely loving, because obviously that is who Peter Parker is. He does make his own technology with whatever he's got on hand and everything else, so I really like this element as well of this suit. Moving on from the suit and actually now talking about what they've actually been filming, I am so excited for this scene because it looks like it is going to be some kind of chase scene with a tank, with Peter trying to get into the tank. And what I love about this is the fact that this has all been shot practically. Now I have no doubt that they are going to be adding things in later in CGI and in post, but I'm so glad that the majority of this is actually being filmed on location practically with real tanks, with the real actor or stuntman actually there trying to get into this tank, because it looks so much better than CGI. Don't get me wrong, I love CGI. Obviously not everything can be done practically, and you do have to CGI things like alien planets and obviously aliens and things like this, because there is no Earthbound analog for that, but I'm so glad that we are actually getting practical effects as well within things like Spider-Man and also the more Earthbound heroes, because I think it works so much better for heroes like that, because it really grounds it within the real world and it just feels more real, more tangible, and it just kind of ups the stakes a little bit, I feel like, as well when you're watching, and it just works so well. I am so glad they're going back to practical effects again. In terms of the fight scene itself, we obviously haven't seen much of it yet, because obviously it's just been Peter trying to get into this tank, but I have no doubt that these fight scenes are going to be absolutely incredible when we see them, because obviously this movie is being done by Daniel Destin Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, and we all saw those fight scenes, which were absolutely incredible. So I'm so excited to see what they're going to do in terms of fight scenes with Spider-Man in this movie. And also, speaking of Daniel Destin Cretton, we also know that he does some absolutely beautiful visuals as well, so I'm so excited to see what he's going to come up with in terms of visuals in this movie as well. Now, in terms of plot, I've got no idea what's going to be happening in this movie, but we do know that Hulk is going to be in it. We also know that Punisher is going to be here, along with Scorpion and potentially Mr. Negative. And the reason why I'm mentioning Mr. Negative is because we've seen on the side of the tanks, hopefully I can get a photo of it, you can see his gang's logo on the side of the tank. So it's very likely that we are going to be seeing Mr. Negative as well in this movie. In terms of what I think all of these characters are going to be doing, I'm not entirely sure yet. I won't be surprised if maybe Mr. Negative is treated as a little bit of a rogues gallery situation where we see what Peter's been up to in the last few years. I don't know. But my prevailing theory at the moment is that this is all still going to be tying into Daredevil Born Again, and specifically Fisk and the Anti-Vigilante Task Force. Because we know by the end of Daredevil Born Again, Fisk has outlawed vigilantes, which is obviously going to include people like Spider-Man. We also know that Fisk is traditionally a Spider-Man and Daredevil villain, and Peter is still going to be in New York. So it makes sense for him to get caught up in this anti-vigilante business and possibly end up in Fisk's sights. And if that happens, that would also explain why Punisher is there, because obviously Punisher is also after Fisk for everything he did in Born Again. In terms as to why Bruce is there, I'm not entirely sure at the moment. I do have one prevailing theory that's probably not going to be true, but I just wanted to put it out there, and that is that the memory wipe spell worked on Bruce, but it did not work on the Hulk, as this actually happens in the comics, where everybody forgets who Peter Parker is, and Bruce does forget, but the Hulk doesn't, much to Peter's surprise. Now, obviously, in the MCU, Bruce and the Hulk are now one being, so that probably won't happen, but we have also seen throughout She-Hulk that Bruce was in his Bruce form and not in Professor Hulk form, so you never know, and I just wanted to put that out there just in case. And then in terms of Scorpion, one thing I do want to mention is the fact that the actor who is playing Scorpion is posting a lot of photos on his Instagram page of various shots of the Scorpion from the comics, and specifically the ones he keeps on posting are the ones where Scorpion is Venom. We all saw that tiny piece of Venom symbiote left behind when Eddie went back to his own universe again, so could that tiny piece be going after Peter by attaching itself to Scorpion? And then, is it then going to attach itself to Peter, so we get Symbiote Spider-Man in time for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, which is where the Symbiote Spider-Man story originally started in the comics. And that is my current thoughts and theories on Spider-Man Brand New Day, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me your theory about this movie. I'd love to know if you've got any, or if you don't have that much time, leave me a spider emoji down below to let me know that you were here. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos where I'm going to be talking more about the MCU and Marvel Comics itself, please don't forget to hit subscribe. But until next time everyone, happy reading and happy watching.